So Kevin Magnussen is back. Seeing as I literally have a video coming out tomorrow on the prospect of Nico Hülkenberg coming back to F1, it's safe to say I didn't see this one coming. I'm rushing the script literally minutes after the announcement, so don't expect the usual standard of video here, but I still think it's a good enough topic to warrant a video, even if it is just a short one. So, first of all, why have Haas chosen to sign Kevin over Hülkenberg, Piastri, Giovinazzi and Fittipaldi? Well, I think the obvious reason as to why he's beaten Giovinazzi, Fittipaldi and Piastri is to do with his experience, not just in the team but just generally as a Formula 1 driver. As to why he's been picked over Nico Hülkenberg, I think it simply comes down to the relationship he had with the team. Sure, there were ups and downs, or so we're told from his autobiography and the infamous Netflix show, but it's definitely going to come in handy that Kevin probably knows a lot of the staff at Haas, and they both know what to expect from each other both on and off track. I briefly want to touch on what this means for Kevin's other racing. He was due to start the FIA World Endurance Championship with Peugeot and the IMSA Sports Car Championship with Chip Ganassi, both of which it would be fair to assume that he's now not doing. And I mean, that's fair enough. If I had the choice between driving a Peugeot and a Formula 1 car, I know which one I'm picking. Now, we know that Haas have sacrificed a $40 million per year contract with Uralkali to get rid of Mazepin, so does Kevin offer any sort of money in return for his seat? I mean, I have no idea what the salary is yet, and nor do I know if Jack and Jones, who were his personal sponsors in F1 previously, will be coming in to sponsor Haas again. I mean, it makes sense, right? And apparently Haas have already sorted themselves another title sponsor, and if we're putting 2 and 2 together, maybe that sponsor will be Jack and Jones. Again, I'm only speculating here, but you can't argue that there isn't a bit of logic involved. Something that I've already seen being noticed is how Kevin Magnussen was quite critical of Haas, both just on his Instagram and in his book, and how this could have jeopardized his chances of F1. Obviously, it didn't do him any harm in the end, but still, it could have done. Now, as a final word to what will probably end up being the shortest video on my channel, let's have a go at predicting the results for Haas this year. It's still very early to say who's got the upper hand for the first race, but just taking an educated guess, I'd say that Haas are going to be around the 7th or 8th best team on the grid this year. Plus, without Nikita Mazepin bringing the average down, they might actually score some points. And plus, although it seemed a lot longer, Kevin's only had a year out of the sport, where he's still been regularly racing in other series, so he'll for sure be near the form he was with Haas, and providing the VF22 is actually half decent, we should be able to actually see some of that form. I'm expecting Kevin to be Haas's fastest driver this year, purely thanks to his experience, but I do still think it'll be close. Although, neither Mick nor Kevin are as aggressive as Mazepin was, so even if they are near to each other in the track, I don't think we'll be seeing either of them try to put the other in the bazzers. So I'm going to take a stab in the dark here and say that Kevin will score 8 points this season and finish 14th, while Mick scores 6 and finishes 16th. If I'm right, then I'll look like the most intelligent person in the world, and if I'm wrong, then that's to be expected. In terms of PR, Kevin Magnussen ain't going to be going around wishing happy birthday to deadly diseases and sexually assaulting people, at least I hope not. So Haas will have one less thing to worry about behind the scenes. I'd even go so far as to say that K-Mag and Mick will be one of the fan favourite driver pairings this year. That could mean that Haas generate more money from sponsors and the sale of merch, and sweaty gloves. It doesn't take a genius to see that having a PR-friendly driver means that you can pull in more money. But yeah, this is big news and definitely isn't the news I expected to see at 6 PM on a Wednesday evening, but I'm sure I'm not alone in really liking Kevin, so I'm glad to see him back. Maybe I do buy some Haas merch after all.